Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Katie and I make book-related videos every single Wednesday. Although at this point, I haven't reviewed a book I think in well over a month, so I should probably stop saying that as my intro. I'm kidding, but you guys know I don't really buy into the whole reading slump thing. I just haven't been reading for the past month or so. I'm sure I'll start up again. This is going to stay a book review channel, but I'm just not reading right now and that's perfectly fine. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Mindhunter series, and there aren't going to be any spoilers except for some very minor ones at the end, but I'll make sure to give you guys a heads up first. And I don't think you guys have seen this room before, but this is my bedroom. I'm currently building a bookshelf, so that's why we have a different setup just for this video. I just finished the series last night and I'm going to review it just in the same way I review books. I'm going to go over a mini summary and then cons and pros. So Mindhunter, the TV show, I didn't actually realize this until I finished watching it, but it's actually based off of a true crime book called Mindhunter Inside the FBI's Elite Serial Crime Unit. Mindhunter tells the story of Holden Ford, who is a young, very idealistic FBI agent, and Bill Tench, who works in the behavioral science unit. He's a bit more older and jaded, and they are joined by a psychiatrist, so the three of them are working on interviewing serial killers and essentially trying to understand, is there a common thread, a common reasoning for why they become the way that they are. In terms of cons, I really just have one, and that's the first episode. I know that a lot of times first episodes are a bit slower and the setup, but I honestly felt like the first episode didn't feel much better than your average episode of Law & Order SVU. So I just remember being really surprised and thinking the writing doesn't feel very strong. I remember being surprised thinking David Fincher was even associated with this just because it didn't have that same gritty feel as say Seven did. However, I tweeted that and a lot of you guys said you also didn't love the first episode, but to keep watching. I did, and I'm very thankful some of you guys said that because I absolutely adored the rest of the series. So in terms of what I loved, one of my favorite aspects, I'm sure this was the same for you guys, was how they brought each serial killer to life. Although I don't know if I should say to life, because you know there are people like Ed Kemper who's still alive today, and I wonder if he's aware that there's a TV show that centers partially around him. But I will say, probably like most people, Ed Kemper was easily my favorite character in the show. You know, he talks about, I won't say some of the specific things he does, even though you can just read it in a Wikipedia article, but I'll just reference my throat, it's pretty fucking disgusting. But at the same time, when he's speaking, he's so likable. So just the characters in this show and how they brought them to life was just so well done. I will also say I was just nerding out a lot throughout this show, partially probably because just a year ago I was finishing my master's in a certain area of psych. Ever since I was little, I've always been really interested in serial killers. The whole idea that this show was very pro-psychology and treating psychology like it wasn't something fluffy, like how a lot of people unfortunately view it, I personally just enjoyed so much. The feel of the show was also just so eerie. The cinematography was very creepy but also incredibly beautiful. And again, no spoilers, but there are scenes, for example, where someone's setting out cat food. Somehow it was still so intense, and I was like, is a hand gonna pop out and grab the cat food? So overall, not including episode 1, the acting, the writing, I enjoyed so much. I also felt, and I don't know how to explain this, but plot-wise, it never went exactly how I expected. Even the climax of the show isn't something I ever would have imagined it would have been. I kept thinking that there were going to be massive shootouts and these huge events happening, but most of it is just people sitting in a room talking to other people. There's honestly very, very minimal action that's happening, but this show still feels so tense and on edge. It really just comes down to the dialogue and delivery being that good that it made the show that tense. So overall, I would probably give Mindhunter like 4 out of 5 pumpkins. We're still gonna use the shitty scale I had from a couple videos back. So getting into some mild spoilers, and I'll say I'm not giving away any plot points, it's just my feelings about characters, so you guys might want to exit away if you haven't seen the show yet. I want to take a moment to talk about Holden and Debbie. I'm very aware because I've read some threads online that a lot of people by the end of the series were like, fuck Debbie. And I just want to say no. This bitch. And I think anyone watching the show would agree that Holden gets more and more pompous and arrogant as the series goes on, and that's definitely intentional. However, when comparing Holden to Debbie, I think a lot of people shit on Debbie all the time. At least I see people just hating on the actress, hating on her character, hating on some of the things that she does, and giving Holden a free pass for a lot of the shit that he does to her. I thought he was incredibly condescending, judgmental, like when he's asking her how many people she slept with, when he just pushes through the door when she says she's studying. Now granted, they're both very analytical, emotionally distant people, but if you're grading them in terms of assholishness, and I think Holden definitely wins. A lot of people just really want to throw Debbie under the bus and assume she 100% cheated. I'm not going to do that. You can go ahead and tell me it's just because I'm also a girl, but that's my feelings on that. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Carrie Coon. I've seen a lot of interesting discussion online around her character and her viewpoint on methodology for interviewing the serial killers. A lot of people feel that Holden is completely in the right for the way that he wanted to interview, and the way she wanted to do it was just too theoretical. Now granted, like I said, I went to grad school for psych, so inherently, because of my background, I'm going to be biased and lean more towards her strategy. I will say, if you're looking for an interesting interview to get them talking, is Holden's approach better? Yes, I don't think anyone would argue that. But their aim wasn't to interview these serial killers for it to be an interesting column in People magazine. The aim of these interviews was to try and understand what brought them to the state that they are, and if you're trying to make that consistent across all the killers, you can't do that unless you're asking consistent questions. I think at one point she even says, like, you can improv, you can establish a rapport, but you just have to ask consistent questions at some point during the interview. But if you guys disagree, definitely let me know down below. So those are all my thoughts on Mindhunter. Please let me know what you guys thought about it. I know a lot of people are hyped for Stranger Things right now, but I'm personally just still feeling a little dead inside that Mindhunter is over. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My next video will probably be a bookshelf tour, and then I will finally, I promise, have a book review for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.